Hey YouTubers, good to see you. I hope you're all doing great. Thank you to my first 2 subscribers. I'm happy to have you along on this journey as I discover what my life can be like and how it can change. For those of you who are watching me for the first time, my name is Sarah. I'm 30 years old and I am roughly about 5 or 6 weeks pre-op to a vertical sleeve gastrectomy. I'm somewhere in the 320 something range. I haven't been weighed since I saw my PCP last, and that was at 326. And I start my pre-op diet on September 16th, 2014, which is a full liquid diet for 21 days. You might see some reflection in my glasses. I'll get the lighting thing figured out probably here pretty quick. This is my first video at home in my apartment, which I share with a couple of other family members, which will probably become something I talk about as I move forward, being someone who will be post-op of having an operation and having to learn how to live my life differently in a more healthy manner for myself. Means I can't do the same things as everybody else, or rather I can't eat the same things as everybody else in the same quantities, and that's okay. And I'll learn that I'm comfortable with who I am and they're comfortable with who they are, and hopefully I won't have too much bitching to say about them. I love them. They're my family. They're my grounding, my rock, and very, very supportive of this entire process. If you haven't noticed, I have a little bit of an Eeyore fascination over here. So welcome to my room. You'll notice I have a couple of things probably behind you. I don't know if you can read it, but right over here over my right shoulder is a step-by-step weight falling log. It's got a bunch of different weights going down to my goal weight on it, and then dates on it so that I can fill in the date when I hit that goal. In there somewhere, there's some rewards on some of the lines. I haven't filled in rewards for everywhere because I can't think of any. It's a lot. So this is my first day back here. I have dinner with my grandparents tonight, which will be something that I'll have to learn to adjust to. I have an Oriental family. We eat rice all the time. Rice comes with every meal. So right now I am in a planning phase. I'm trying to look forward to what will be helpful to me and how I can make adjustments to my regular daily life, things like having monthly dinner with my grandparents in a way that will work for my pre-op, post-op diet and everything. My family doesn't know everything that I'm doing yet. I have a few family members that do know. Obviously, the ones living with me do know. My father is the one taking me to surgery, and I'm hoping to make the announcement to the rest of the family who I interact with on a regular basis for family functions and events and dinners and things like that in a couple of weeks before I start my pre-op diet. I'm not necessarily nervous that they won't be supportive, but in the past when I have discussed the possibility of taking one of these kinds of steps, they were that kind of uncomfortable, too supportive kind of thing. I'm not saying I don't want my family to be supportive, but you know that line between being supportive and being kind of insulting to the person you are now? I've had to deal with that with every single diet program I've tried, and I've had to deal with it with everyone that I've tried and failed. And, you know, when everyone's like, yeah, you're going to do something, you almost want to be like, do you not like me the way that I am? You know? So that's why I've held off on telling them. I think some of them will be just super, super great and super supportive, and some of them will be on that kind of like, I support you because it's your decision, but I wish you could have done it a different way kind of thing. But, you know, they're not in my head. They don't know exactly everything I've gone through. Yes, they're my family, but they just don't know. And speaking from that, I have a lot going on, a lot of personal stuff going on, a lot of family dynamic things going on. For anyone out there watching this, thinking about going through this weight loss process, who are what we call in the grieving kind of circles a motherless daughter type, of person, and if you lost your mom young, if you lost your mom in your 20s, if you lost your mom whenever, you know that it's really hard, and as life moves on around you, sometimes you have harder days and harder weeks and harder years and harder months than others, and some of them aren't so hard. Some of them are a little bit more accepting, and some of them you start to forget. Not your mother, but you start to forget that there's that piece missing. But every time you try to do something new, or try to take a new journey, or try to take a new step, you wish she was here. You wish she was with you. And I, in particular, because my father isn't that old, am having to start to deal with that whole dynamic of him moving on into a new life. And I'm really, really happy for him, and I'm happy for the people who make him happy, and for anything that makes his life more enjoyable for him, because I hope he's still with me for a very long time, and if he's happy, he'll be with me for a lot longer than if he wasn't. But as anyone who has been through the loss of one parent and not the other knows, that even though you're happy for anything that makes them happy, there's a lot of other emotions that go on. And I don't want those things to jeopardize what I'm trying to accomplish moving forward with this surgery and with my life, in creating an existence that I can be proud of, and that makes me say, I'm living the life that I want and I deserve, and I am the person that I always wished I was, or for me, rather, I'm the person that I always saw in my head. I'm not one thing on the outside and one thing on the inside. I'm trying to bring those things more in line, and I don't want those emotions that I have going on and have buried for a while, to be honest, to jeopardize that, to make it more difficult. So I'm going to be very open with all of you about my process, as open as I feel comfortable being. I'll let you know if I'm having a hard time, if I'm having a bad day, if things just aren't aligning, if I'm not in a good mood, whatever. Part of that is going to be able to admit that I start with a therapist next week to not only talk about my life as it moves forward and everything that I'm trying to cope with the loss of my mom 5 years later after her passing, and the life just goes on around you, and everything keeps moving. And I'm hoping that will not only help me be emotionally on a good keel and on an even basis and in touch with my feelings and okay with my feelings, but also help me with that emotional eating factor. If I can manage my emotions in a healthy way, acknowledge them in a healthy way, then I don't have to bury them under pints of ice cream or hamburgers or cheese curds or anything else. Updates on my progress toward my pre-op diet. I've done some shopping. I did a lot of shopping online. I did some stuff with Amazon.com, and I did some stuff. I'll find the email or the website and link it below. I ordered some sample sizes of the protein powders. I found a really great website, which was given to me by someone on the forums on obesityhelp.com, of this lady who sells sample sizes, $2.99 per sample size of most of the powders, so that you can give the different flavors a try and find what works for you without having to buy a pound or 5 pounds or whatever. Those of you that are thinking about the Isopure clear drinks that are 40 grams of protein and no carbs, and are trying to find them online, and all you can find is 12 packs and single flavor 12 packs, and you don't want to be stuck with something that you're not going to like, and you're wondering, because some people have said they wish they could afford them, and some people have said these are disgusting, I don't like them, and I have taken up the position that they're 40 grams of protein and I should really give them a try, because they will probably really help me along after the surgery and going into the surgery, of hitting my protein mark. So I went to the GNC store. When you order online, they mostly do only give you the 12-pack option. But if you go into the store, at least here in Washington where I live, there's a bariatric center where I live, even though I'm going to Mexico. They carry them by the bottle, cold, in a little refrigerator near their thing. The guy at the counter was really great, actually. He goes, most people who try these things or get these things are people who have weight loss surgery. And I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to move forward into that. So I'm going to give these a try. And anyone who's interested or wants to know, I will give an update and tell you what works, what flavors I liked, which ones I didn't. And I think one of the things, it's been really hot here this summer. It's been in the 90s, like 90% of the time since the beginning of July. It's been really, really hot. So one of the things that I got into this summer that I am ashamed to say is I got on a slushy kick from Sonic. I was at Sonic constantly buying slushies. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna give my good old blender a try with these Isopure protein zero carb things and some good old pulverized ice and see if I can make a slushy out of them that is going to make me happy and fit into my diet and not be empty calories. I hope everyone is having a good week. I hope everyone continues to make the world a beautiful place for you, yours, yourself, and your family.